What's up, everyone? Back for another beer review, and today I'll be reviewing yet another beer from the Sierra Nevada Brewing Company, and they're out of both Chico, California and Mills River, North Carolina, and this is their Spiced Barrel-Aged Bigfoot. So they're calling this one a barley wine style ale aged in bourbon barrels with nutmeg, orange peel, clove, and cinnamon. Comes in at 13% alcohol by volume, 90 IBUs at the time of review. This can is just over 6 months old. I want to give a huge thanks and shout out once again to a good friend of mine and a viewer of the channel, Billy, for hooking me up with this one. So big thanks to him. In the description box, I'll post a link to the beer mal unboxing video I did that contains all the goodies that Billy hooked me up with. And this was the one I had my eye on. And why? Why not? This sounds absolutely delicious. Now hear me out. I enjoy Bigfoot fresh, but I like it with some age on it, a couple years. I really have enjoyed the barrel-aged versions of Bigfoot I've had. So when I read this, tell me if this isn't the best of both worlds, at least for me. It says, what we brewed, a beastly winter sipper featuring multiple vintages of Bigfoot, up to 7 years in hibernation. So they're talking, some of them are up to 7 years aged. And then blended and finished in bourbon barrels on mulling spices, which obviously is the nutmeg, orange peel, clove, and cinnamon. Hops are using Chinook, Cascade, and Centennial. Malts, two-row, pale, caramelized. Yeah. Full disclosure, Billy did say this is, to date, his favorite beer of 2022. Or maybe he said it was last year, but I'm pretty sure he said 2022. Regardless, it was either last year or this year. He said it was his favorite beer. And I'm just thank you, Billy. Regardless of if this beer is good or not, check out the label. The label is absolutely phenomenal. I'm going to keep this regardless, and it's probably going to go behind me on the pretentious wall of bottles and cans if it's pretty good, at the very least. It's going up there. I can't. I got to crack this open. I got it in glass. I'm just excited. Yeah, so not much more to say. Let's give it a pour. Ooh, that's so fucking dark. Wow. All right, we're going to go like that. I want to be able to get... I spilled some on the table. I'm not happy about that. Sorry, Billy. I don't mean to disrespect the beer like that. We'll get it in a little bit. Anyway, that has this like copper, deep copper kind of look to it. Almost rust-esque. Really deep mahogany, almost into light brown. Has a finger of a khaki, maybe even darker than khaki to some degree. Creamy looking head. Looks fantastic. There's alcohol legs all over the glass. Looks phenomenal. Let's get a nose. What the fuck? Oh my God. It has kind of like what you expect out of like a warm kind of like apple cider, mulling spices. Like it has that kind of, what is that? That smells so fucking good. What? It's like someone took brown sugar and cinnamon and then mixed it in with like a touch of like clove and nutmeg. So I know I'm going to enjoy this one for a couple different reasons, but the main reason is the spices could turn some people away. If you watch the Beer Patrol, you know I do my 10 Days of Pumpkin. You know I like winter warmers. And nutmeg, clove, cinnamon, those are all spices that are typically used in either pumpkin or winter warmers. So I like that, and that's what I'm getting here. There's almost like a cedar, almost like pepper type of note in here. Like it's kind of crazy. Underneath it, though, there's caramel, there's toffee, there's big malty kind of goodness to it. There's a little bit of hop character left over. Has this like earthy, spicy hop character. The barrel's not punching me in the face. There's a little bit of vanilla and oak, a little bit of like the bourbon itself, but it's very minute. Those spices are so fucking cool. I'm telling you right now, like, okay, so nutmeg, clove, and cinnamon along with orange peel. I've had those in beers before. Like I've had that combination before. But what I'm getting on the nose is just so different, the blend. Like that spice note. Almost like a red licorice type of thing. Oh, I want to fucking huff. Like this smells awesome. Here's the thing. This smells awesome, but I'm having trouble deciphering and explaining to you what the fuck I'm smelling. It just smells crazy good. But it's like something I never smelled before. This kind of smells like a cinnamon. This is going to sound bad, but I love it. It's like a cinnamon like air freshener. Or like a scented candle. Like it has that like cinnamon almost apple kind of like fall-esque nose. Okay, I'm not gonna sit here and just keep on explaining the same thing for the next 3 minutes. Thank you, Billy. Cheers, everybody. Let's see what this one has to offer. It's fucking absolutely 100% delicious. Fuck my life. Billy, I cannot thank you enough for hooking me up with this beer. They had these available on their website, this and the other one Billy sent my way, their barrel-aged peanut butter cup narwhal. I couldn't get it because they don't ship to New York, so the fact that Billy was kind enough to send me one of each. The peanut butter cup, barrel-aged peanut butter cup narwhal, a little bit disappointing. This, not in the least. This is amazing. This is honestly, this is better than I thought it was going to be. Body's like lower side of full, higher side of medium. We'll say the body's a bit thin. 13%. Feel like the barrel's probably thinned it out a bit. I don't remember, Bigfoot being like thin, so I think it thinned it out a little bit. So if there's a knock on the beer, it's thin. The mouthfeel is exactly what I expected. It has a nice kind of crisp carbonation, but it has a nice smoothness to it on the back of the palate. Oh, holy fuck, is this good? Okay. I'm trying to think where about you. Let me take another sip and then we'll begin with the tasting. Because like this is wild. This is one of those beers that's super complex. And I feel like if I was drinking this off camera, it would be one of those beers that opens up in the glass over the course of the next 45 minutes to an hour as I'm sipping on it and I'd get different things. I took this right out of my darker beer fridge. I keep 52 degrees. So it's probably like 55 to 58 at this point. It's been out of the fridge probably like 20 minutes, 25 minutes. Like I feel like at 70 degrees room temperature, like it's gonna be, even more things are coming up. But like, let me just go back. Right at the tip of the tongue. The cinnamon and nutmeg intertwine. And there's like this, and again, there's no apples in here. They say mulling spice, there's no apples. Like this is type of character I'd get in like a warm apple cider or something like that. I am getting cinnamon and nutmeg. There's an apple, kind of like red apple core. Maybe like a candied apple right at the front of the tongue. And as it passes through, that's where the barley wine sneaks in. It has this big, bready, caramel, toffee, brown sugar, caramelized sugar kind of feeling to it. And then underneath that, there's like raisins and dates and figs and cherry. Yeah, it's cool how that happens. Tip of the tongue, right to about a third, maybe a quarter of the way through. All of that's hitting right at the front of the palate, which is cool. Halfway through the palate, that's where I get the barrel. And the barrel has this really dry oak tannin kind of feeling to it. There's a little of like the bourbon, like a peppery bourbon spice that's mixing in with all those other spices. There's a touch of maybe vanilla. As it passes through even further on the finish, I'm left with this nice earthy kind of almost slightly pine resin-esque kind of finish to it, which is probably coming from the hops. This is mildly bitter, not really moderately, semi-dry. This is a bit sweeter, but not super unbalanced. Like I expect this to be sweeter, and it is, but it's not crazy sweet or anything. I can't get over I rarely go nuts about the front half of a palate or like the first like quarter or third of the palate, like on the tongue. But I cannot stress enough. If that front of that palate carried on throughout the entire palate, this would be a 5 out of 5 all day. This is like, even regardless, like it's still a fucking fantastic beer. But this would be, without a shout out, the best beer I've had so far this year, or definitely top 3. Not quite for me, but very close. 13%. I feel it in the chest. This is not as boozy on the palate as I thought it was going to be. I thought it'd be pretty boozy. If I was doing this blind, I guess like 11, 12, but not quite 13. The 90 IBUs, again, a lot of times people, we'll talk about IBUs, 90 IBUs. I've had 90 IBU beers that taste like 20 and 20 that have tasted like 90. All depends. There's so much malt character in this one, the barrel, the actual spices, that it's not that bitter. Again, a mild bitterness on the back of the palate. I just want to drink this. I don't want to talk about it anymore. Yeah, so it's boozy, but not overly so. This might be the best Bigfoot I've ever had. Talking regular, fresh, aged, barrel-aged. This is top-notch stuff right here. All right, so I'm going to pour the rest in, and I'm just going to give it a rating. I see what Billy's talking about when he said it's one of the best beers he's had this year, because this is not the best beer I've had this year. This is without question the most unique and maybe the most fun beer, or definitely in the top 3 as far as like fun factor is concerned. The fucking label is phenomenal. Does that matter? No. But am I totally going to keep this and put it behind me on the wall of pretentious bottles and cans? You fucking bet your bottom dollar I will. And this is, I forget to mention, this is part of their FOMO small batch limited release series. Yeah, FOMO indeed. I fear of missing out. Yeah, I don't really have that anymore, but this and that barrel-aged peanut butter cup narwhal kind of brought back the FOMO a little bit. So again, I cannot thank Billy enough for this one. I know this is going to be a longer review. I don't fucking care. Like, you watch Beer Patrol, I sometimes have 6-7 minute reviews. Sometimes I have 15-16 minute reviews. It happens, whatever. It depends on the beer. Depends on how talkative I am, which I do like to talk and mostly say nothing. But a beer like this deserves all the praise. The orange peel, I'm getting a little bit of like citrus on the back of the palate. But yeah, the nutmeg and the clove and the cinnamon, just fucking goddamn. Anyway, rating. I'm going to give this a straight 4.75 out of 5 all fucking day long. Sounds. Put it over here because it's a beautiful fucking label. Price and availability. Billy, let me know. If this was like $20 a 4-pack, all day, every day. If this is $25 a 4-pack, all day, every day. If this is $32 a 4-pack, all day, every day. I'd pay up to $10 for that can. It's 16 ounces. It's 13%. It's a barrel-aged barley wine with a bunch of mulling spices. Like, I'd pay up to $10 a can easily. Availability, I think this did not see like regular distro. I do know that it was available on their website. They shipped to certain states, not New York. So if you saw this one and you're not in California, or you were able to order it off the website, let me know. If you've had this one before, let me know. I really want to hear other people's thoughts. I know Billy sent one to Kyle over at No Hype Beer Reviews. I can't remember what he said about it. I'll have to go watch his review, but Billy, I can't thank you enough. Yeah, the fact that you would send me one of these is just, and like, he's a viewer of Kyle's channel, and then he was like, hey, I'll send you that in the peanut butter cup. Like, no problems. That's why the fucking beer tubing community is so cool. People like Billy. Billy, I'm not saying it just to say it, but I cannot thank you enough for the 4 beers you sent my way. I cannot thank you enough for this one specifically. You're right. This is, like you said, this is your favorite beer 2022. Probably top 3, if not, top 5 for me. But this is probably the most fun and unique beer I've had to this point. That's also fucking crazy delicious. This is fantastic. If you can get your hands on it, do so. Thank you to everybody stopping by for another beer review here on the Beer Patrol. Once again, thanks to Billy. I'm going to go drink this one and feel good after about another hour. Cheers.